We are so glad you joined us today to learn about ways families can support students' social and emotional learning. We hope you will learn more about SEL and gain new ideas for supporting the children in your life. I'm Lisa Pfeiffer, the trauma informed SEL specialist, and alongside me are my colleagues Vanessa Hunter, who's a resource school counselor, and Janie Van Zant, the SEL systems specialist. Our goals for this presentation include defining social emotional learning, discussing its importance and common opportunities for growth, reviewing the 5 core competencies of social emotional learning, and providing conversation starters and strategies to support children in your life in growing their SEL skills at home. So we'll start our presentation with a quick welcoming inclusion activity. A welcoming inclusion is a Castle signature social emotional learning practice that builds community and connects to the work ahead. Students and staff participate in welcoming inclusioning activities frequently in a variety of ways, such as at the beginning of the school day, the beginning of a class, during staff meetings, and professional development meetings. We thank you for taking your time to explore SEL concepts with us today. And so we're going to start it off just by saying a compliment to yourself, and just know that we are glad that you're here today. So what is SEL? The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, defines social emotional learning as the process through which young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy towards others, establish and maintain relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. A strong foundation of SEL skills can help strengthen the sense of community and belonging, behavior and wellness, and academic performance. SEL programming can lead to improvement in academic performance, increases in pro-social behaviors such as empathy and kindness, a reduction in mental health problems, and improvements in attitudes towards self and others at school. More information on the research and benefits and background can be found on the castle.org website. Social and emotional learning, or SEL, occurs at home and school. In fact, families are our students' first teachers for social emotional learning skills. Starting in infancy, families play an important role in teaching children about emotions, modeling how to problem solve and form relationships with others. Families also provide a safe and supportive environment in which children learn and grow. As children enter school, staff work with families to continue supporting students' development. SEL skills develop at home, in the community, and also in school. And then they continue to grow over the course of a person's life. By building the foundation provided at home, schools provide students opportunities to develop healthy identities, relate to others, and set and achieve goals. Next, we'll watch a quick video from the Virginia Department of Education about strategies to support social emotional wellness at home.
Social emotional wellness. Considerations for parents and caregivers. Parents and caregivers can play a significant role in increasing their children's resilience during times of stress. They are in the best position to provide key supports that can foster their children's ability to bounce back after a crisis. Creating a supportive environment is one of the keys to providing a sense of physical and emotional safety. This means having predictable routines, offering choices to give a sense of control, having clear and consistent expectations, and providing praise for positive behaviors. Another key support is to encourage emotional regulation. Parents and caregivers can teach and provide opportunities for the child to practice self-regulation skills. This includes being able to identify their feelings, manage strong emotions, and use strategies to calm themselves. It is also important for caregivers to model their own emotional self-regulation in stressful situations. Another key support is to strengthen relationships. Parents and caregivers can strengthen relationships with their children by providing opportunities for family fun time and connecting with others. Supportive and trusting relationships can be healing and counteract the impact of stress. Want to learn more? Check out the quick guide below for more information and resources.
When supporting children at home and at school, it is important to consider common opportunities for growth in social emotional learning. Children may need to learn ways to remain optimistic, resilient, and confident in a challenging situation. Some children may need more support with recognizing and interpreting social cues of others and applying these in a variety of different social situations. Children need opportunities to practice identifying and expressing their own emotions, as well as understanding the emotions and perspective of others. Additionally, some children may need opportunities to recognize how their body and thinking change with different situations and ways to navigate these changes using healthy and productive mindsets. To support students of all ages and abilities, consider some of the following strategies when supporting SEL skills development. The use of videos, modeling, and role playing can be particularly helpful when teaching children about new ideas or concepts. Many children benefit from more hands on learning activities that allow them to create and explore and practice through doing. Having real life examples that relate to a child's own experiences can be particularly meaningful when learning new skills. Using visual cues such as pictures or charts or pictures of familiar people to recognize emotions can help support understanding. For children who need support with language, providing sentence starters um, or example phrases can be particularly helpful. We also found that social stories can be a powerful tool to support children in learning um, how to use strategies and understand problem solving techniques. So now we're going to take a closer look at the five CASEL competencies. And CASEL defines these competencies as self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. So as you can see from this visual, all five of these competencies are supported by a child's classroom environment, their full school, their families and caregivers, as well as their community. So let's take a closer look at each of these competencies and how we can work collaboratively to support all children in developing these skills.
Self-awareness is the ability to accurately recognize one's own emotions and thoughts and understand their influence on behavior. This includes understanding different emotions as well as exploring personal strengths and challenges. For children as well as adults, this might look like being able to identify basic emotions through words, pictures, assistive technology, or other forms of communication, understanding how they are feeling based on body signals, understanding what motivates them when facing challenging situations, developing personal strengths and interests that are unique to them, and understanding that different events or situations can impact how they feel. To support children in developing self-awareness, here are a few strategies to start the conversation. Label and reflect on how your children might be feeling. For example, wow, you seem really happy to see your friend at the park this weekend. Feel free to share your own feelings with your child to help them understand that everyone experiences different emotions. When reading books or watching movies, pause and discuss how a character might be feeling. Share what you noticed about how the character spoke, looked, or said that made you pick a particular feeling. Make connections to similar situations in your own life. Celebrate victories with your student by pointing out their strengths, times they have tried hard when in a challenging situation, or communicated their wants or needs. For more ideas on unique strengths, check out Types of Strengths in Kids by understood.org, which outlines a wide range of talents for children of all ages. To practice skills, consider some of the activities noted here. Emotion charades provides an opportunity for families to create a list of common emotions and then take turns acting them out for others to guess. Consider using developmentally appropriate vocabulary words and encouraging everyone to use their face, body, and words to act it out. Another activity is an emotions interview. Have your student develop a list of emotions and then ask a family member questions about times they have experienced the emotions, how they feel the emotion in their body, and what their face looked like, and more. Work with your student to develop a list of strengths while you create your own list. Remember to consider strengths at home, at school, in the community, or other settings, and consider what strengths you might have in common or strengths that are unique to each person. Self-management is the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors effectively across different situations. This includes using healthy coping skills to manage stress, motivate oneself, and work towards a goal. This could look like a child working independently for a period of time, asking for help when needed, picking strategies to use to help them stay calm, a child following two-step directions independently, developing an organizational system for toys or school supplies, identifying and using strategies to persevere in challenging situations. To support conversations around self-management, we've included several sentence starters to get you started. Consider sharing your own responses when talking with your student to provide them with ideas to support their own self-management. Children particularly enjoy stories from the adults in their lives about things they experienced as a child. When supporting children with self-management, there are some easy ways to model at home and in your community. Have conversations about what stress feels like to you. Describe what your body feels, what you might be thinking, and what things are a source of stress. Teach and show students or your child ways that you manage stress, frustration, and disappointedness, and help them identify tools they can use themselves. Brainstorm a coping skill list together. Model how you handle big feelings, both positive and negative, and share language around how you feel and how your actions or words are different in different situations or settings. Create family goals. Set a goal for the end of the week and another for the end of the year or month. Write down the steps needed to achieve the goals and reflect on your progress as a family. To support children, consider using visuals that provide pictures of coping strategies or a calming process. Some children also benefit from tying how their body is feeling or what they are thinking to specific strategies. Talking through an activity using first, next, and last, or a chart with these steps can be helpful for kids of any age to start thinking about goal setting. Social awareness is the ability to take the perspective of and empathize with others from diverse backgrounds and cultures, to understand social and ethical norms for behavior, and to recognize family, school, and community resources and supports. It includes having compassion for others, understanding broad historical and social norms for behavior in different settings. This might look like responding to others in a kind and safe way through words and actions, understanding and valuing differences between myself and others, recognizing when others are not being treated fairly, showing gratitude, and recognizing that other people have different thoughts, feelings, or experiences from yourself. To support social awareness when talking with your student, consider using stories or real-life examples to discuss how others might be feeling or what they are thinking. Consider reading books, watching movies, or listening to music about people from different communities or cultures. Have discussions to support the understanding and appreciation that people have different abilities, backgrounds, and cultures. A few books are suggested or included as suggested texts to spark these conversations. To support the development of social awareness in a more interactive manner, consider playing board games with your student and families and/or friends. This provides an opportunity to take turns and experience the possibility of losing or winning. Work to define roles within your family or a child's team. Brainstorm what tasks are they responsible for? What are shared responsibilities? How can each family member work together collaboratively? Take practice taking the perspective of someone else. Consider using the pictures or illusions like the one shown here. Do you see a duck or a rabbit? Then have each family member share their response.
Relationship skills are defined as the ability to establish and maintain healthy and supportive relationships and to effectively navigate settings with diverse individuals and groups. This includes standing up for the rights of others, collaborating, forming and maintaining friendships, and managing conflicts. In children as well as adults, this might look like communicating needs, wants, and ideas through words, pictures, or assistive technology with others. It might look like actively listening when others are speaking, seeking help when it's needed, taking on a leadership role when working with others, apologizing for a mistake, or giving and receiving feedback. To support conversations around relationship skills, consider these questions. You might ask your student, what do you like most about working with others? Or what is hard or challenging about it? Consider posing these questions as your student completes a group project, participates in a team sport, or even for younger children, asking about playtime with peers. Consider conversations with your student around their strengths and what those look like in their ability to form and maintain relationships or friendships, what those strengths look like in working with others in a school setting, or even on a sports team or extracurricular activity. Using real-life opportunities for perspective taking can be powerful. Asking questions about what it means to care for someone, helping others, or working cooperatively in different settings are all things you could consider. For children of all ages, consider talking about what they can do or say in a variety of situations, such as how to start a conversation with someone unfamiliar, how to ask for help, or even what to do or say to apologize. These conversations can provide an opportunity for modeling, practicing, and even sharing stories from your own experience as a kid or an adult. Another way to continue this work is to consider creating a family agreement chart. Rather than a list of rules, a family agreement allows for each family member to share what values are most important to them. Examples of values might be respect, honesty, or kindness. Each family member shares their values, and then as a group, creates a list of the most important or shared values. You can talk about what the values mean and how each of you can uphold them through words as well as your actions. This allows all family members to share their values in their own words and have them reflected in the family agreement. Feel free to use words as well as pictures to include even the youngest family members. The last SEL competency is responsible decision making. This is defined as the ability to make caring and constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions across diverse situations. This includes working towards solutions to personal or social problems and supporting collective well-being. This could look like understanding what is within their control versus what is outside of their control when handling a problem. Recognizing that there could be multiple ways to solve the same problem. Being able to define the size of a problem. Appreciating that they are similar and different from other people. Considering that their own actions can impact others. And reflecting on past events to inform future choices. As you talk with your student about responsible decision making, consider the questions here as a starting point. It may be helpful to explore how many choices they have in a given day and how impactful or significant some of those choices could be, while others may only impact themselves or a few people. Consider a conversation around a more challenging problem and talk with them about things they considered when making a decision and about how to proceed. It could even be helpful to share with them a time that you were faced with a challenging problem and had to make a difficult choice. Consider talking through the steps you took or the things you considered before arriving at your decision. You could also talk about any lessons you might have learned that impacted your decision-making in similar situations. For younger children, these questions could focus on more concrete choices or solving more age-appropriate problems, such as how to handle a disagreement with a peer in a safe manner. You could also support your student by sharing and modeling ways to ask for help at home, while they're at school, or in the community, by providing them with positive praise and feedback when they follow basic problem-solving strategies or steps. To further support responsible decision-making, consider talking about problem-solving strategies using real-life examples, such as talking through a situation your child may encounter during a visit to the playground, during a dance class, in their classroom, or while shopping in a store. Talk with your student about possible outcomes and consequences to their choices that could impact them as well as others. To support your student in making choices, provide them with opportunities starting at a young age, giving children the opportunity to make a choice for an activity, food for a meal, or picking their clothing for the day allows them practice. For older children, this can also provide an opportunity to consider both the pros and the cons of choices that they make, such as who might be excited or disappointed if I pick to watch the same movie for a third weekend in a row, or the same board game that we always play, versus if I select my sibling's favorite movie or game to play instead. Examine problems in real life or in books and discuss the pros and cons of the outcome, as well as any potential solutions that might have been used instead. If you have any further questions about social emotional learning after today's presentation, consider connecting with your school counselor, social worker, or psychologist. Additional resources are also available through the Parent Resource Center over the phone or in person. They also have a variety of pre-recorded presentations and live sessions related to a variety of the SEL skills that we've discussed today. For more information on supporting children with developing SEL skills, check out the FCPS website on social and emotional learning, as well as the SEL Screener Family Guide to understanding SEL strengths. As we finish our session, we'd like to include an optimistic closure, which is another Castle social emotional learning signature practice. As you reflect on the information you just heard, please consider something that you've learned from today's session and something you might be curious about. Thank you so much for coming to today's session to learn more about how to support the social emotional learning skills for the children in your life. For more information on social emotional learning, as well as ways to support children of all ages, please consider looking into the books, websites, and podcasts listed on this page.